So, two changes to the All Black team, starting lineup for the game against Argentina, semi-final of the Rugby World Cup. Boys, Jeff Wilson and Mils Muliaina, do we need to make changes?
Well, clearly they wanted to make a little bit of impact on the bench, certainly giving Brodie a break. Look, Sam Whitelock, we know what he's going to bring, which is pretty critical. Look, Samasoni Tokiaho, look, he was the form player last season. Probably hasn't been a standout at all this year. Dane Coles has been really good, but clearly Mark Talia coming back in for Leicester Whainganuku. I think he has to perform. I think Talia has to go out and play well. I just to reaffirm the fact that he deserves the next spot, whatever that might be next week. You know, the big important thing here is, though, Mills, that the All Blacks just don't get ahead of themselves.
No, they don't. And I think sometimes we tend to get ahead of ourselves in terms of saying, I don't think they've rested anyone. I think they've sort of counteracted the fact that, hey, this is our best team to play against Argentina, and clearly the bench, you know, signals the fact that they want a more dynamic bench to possibly come on and make a different impact as the bench did last week. You know, more of a composed sort of, you know, Sam Whitelock coming up on and really closing out the game. I think this bench has a more of a feel of more energy, dynamic, you know, blockbusting sort of runners to really try and sort of, you know, hone in on the factors. I think we're a lot fitter than Argentina. So Mark Talia, yep, he needs to. He does. He will go out there and absolutely play, you know, his best. You know, he's been rewarded once again. He probably was, you know, the #1 winger, but you know, they'll put that past him, and he'll go out there and have an absolutely good game.
It kind of defies the logic of you don't change a winning team, Jeff.
Yeah, but the All Blacks have sort of moved away from that for a long, long time now. They've always talked about every single week they've named a side that this is the team for this challenge, for what they're facing now. And to Mel's point, that they're obviously maybe looking for something a little bit different. I mean, let's be honest, the fact that you've got a number of guys who could have probably played their way in, but this is pretty much a settled group. We get that. You know, I think they're actually just rewarding guys who have made an impact for them already going up, not just in this tournament but leading into it. But look, had a chance to talk to Richie Mo'unga. Look, there are under no illusions, Nisbett, Mills, that what they have to do is they have to lock in day by day for this game. They can't get ahead of themselves. They have to understand that Argentina and the Pumas are a real threat. And the motivation is still there from a couple of defeats in recent seasons. The fact that still bites, you know, that hurts. The fact that a lot of things have changed in terms of teams breaking history against this squad. A lot of individuals, they want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
And Mills, Argentina's a team we play every single year. Yeah. I mean, we played Ireland last week. We play them maybe on average every 3 years, perhaps. But at least you know what we're going to get with Argentina.
You absolutely do. And in some place you go, well, hey, we've been in this position before. We've played a cracker of a game. You know, South Africa last year, we weren't supposed to win. We come back to Christchurch, we lose. You know, even when we lost to them, you know, before that. We've always been up for that challenge, and then when we've come off a back end of playing, you know, a really good game, you know, we tend to sort of, you know, lose our mental focus. That will have a massive bearing on terms of the preparation of these guys, because that intensity last week was huge. They've got to get up to that level because Argentina, they've sort of rolled into this, haven't played their best rugby, Jeff, but they know this is knockout football. If you don't turn up, you will lose.
Tempo is everything for the All Blacks in terms of playing with speed, putting the opposition under fatigue. That's what Ireland felt in the first 10 or 15 minutes. All of a sudden, they weren't able to impact in areas of the game, particularly the breakdown, because they were already under a little bit of stress physically. So I think ultimately the All Blacks will be looking to do that again. Play at speed, and if you're the Pumas, you want to slow the game down. You want to control the tempo of the game. And that's where the All Blacks bench, like you said, comes into it. The fact the moment there's more fatigue, the All Blacks can go to that. Look, there's a remarkable stat that the All Blacks have only lost one line-out in the tournament. Not just last game, one line-out. I think it's 44 out of 55. So there's a real accuracy about what the group are doing. The biggest challenge is they've just got to go out and do that again. And sometimes that's not easy in a World Cup.
Another big factor is the weather. You know, it's now cooled down a bit. It's starting to rain. It's forecast to rain over the weekend. You're right about the accuracy. You know, how can they get there? And perhaps that's probably forced some of the changes to make sure you sort of shore up those sort of departments. The line out, the set piece, that's going to play a big part because they have the accuracy. And I mean, last week 5 scrums, and they're all to the All Blacks. That's a high intensity, no sort of mistakes. Can they do that with a rugby and against a team that will want to slow the ball down?
And we have to talk about the bench as well, because the continuing No sign of Cam Roygaard, which surprises a lot of people.
Yeah, it does. But ultimately, if they felt Finlay Christie was the man to play against Ireland, there's no reason why
And
he's
he
not
didn't
the man.
play.
Yeah, but he didn't play. I mean, and that might have been because of the fact that Aaron Smith got a break, a nice wee 10-minute break in the middle of the game. But I think ultimately that's the play they've gone with. That's the guy that they're trusting. Look, we didn't see Damien McKenzie as well, but I think that's circumstances in terms of the game. They felt as though they had the best defensive unit probably out there and playing, and they left it to it.
Pretty good balance, isn't it? I mean, what a luxury to have, you know, all those quality players and then not even sort of use them. This is what the All Blacks have got, well-rounded team and guys that you could easily swap in and out. You know, it's great for Ian Foster.
And a quick word about Argentina too, because they tend to be ignored a wee bit in this discussion. They've only made one change, so Michael Check is obviously very happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, look, they've done really well in this tournament. They started with an unexpected performance against England. The fact they had a numerical advantage for pretty much most of the game, and then they got well and truly beaten. From there, they've just got better and better, and they were pretty impressive against Wales because Wales looked as though they had their number early on. They stayed in the fight. They were competitive. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they know they're up for it. It's now it's do or die. You know, they came back. You know, Wales sort of let them back in the game. When you give them a sniff and the passion that they're going to bring, they will bite you.
So there we are. Should be a great semi-final of Rugby World Cup 2023, Saturday morning, New Zealand time.